Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Alex Reich, and I live in Mesa Verde, and I've been a Costa Mesa resident on and off again for over 25 years. In Poor Richard's Almanac, Benjamin Franklin once said, "When the well is dry, we know the worth of water." Last session, I discussed both how and why we might like to avoid desalination, like the one proposed in Huntington Beach. Part of my concern came from the response I received from Tony Dodaro from the city office regarding using reclaimed water. He wrote to me that, quote, "there is a limited supply of recycled water available," end quote. I brought this to a neighbor and she asked me, why is that? Shouldn't we be producing a surplus? Mesa Water spent $500,000 on rebranding 3 years ago, and combined with sanitary, another $500,000 and counting, just discussing a possible merger. Meanwhile, we should be focused on supporting the most comprehensive regional recycled water programs already in development or operating at scale, like the one discussed recently by the Orange County Water District regarding the joint water pollution control plant in Carson and the groundwater replenishment system. These are already real and therefore a better long-term strategy for recharging our basin instead of focusing on new logos, desal in Huntington, and mixing our sanitary with our water. I'd also like to talk about Yes on Measure Y, and please show my image. This is from the website votenomeasurey.com. The site is from a company out of Wilshire Boulevard. That's in Los Angeles, if you weren't aware. My friendly Costa Mesa neighbors know that the big flaw here is not having humanity. That would be having lack of compassion and not paying someone a fair wage and not stressing them so much because they can't live close enough to their work in our city to have a good life. That is a big flaw. In terms of water, high-density building would also require more water, more conservation, and probably new rate structures. Let the voting residents of Costa Mesa control the flow of concrete in our city. That's being a good American. That's being a good neighbor. That's good and smart growth. Yes on Measure Y. Regarding Measure AA, Fairview Park deserves to be protected. It's really a no-brainer and should pass easily. In terms of water, a natural Fairview Park, like it is now, will continue to use less water than a sports or athletics field. Going back to my Ben Franklin quote about when the well runs dry, the same could be said of our very last remaining undeveloped space, the jewel of the city. And I think we know Fairview Park's worth. Yes on Measure AA. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Reich, if I'm not mistaken, in the effort of transparency, you are running for Water District. Right?
Oh, yes. I'm glad you brought that up. Thanks, Gary.
Okay,
Appreciate that.
You got it.
Thank you.
Next speaker.
After the next speaker.